So ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a game that I've heard quite a bit of fanfare of online, and it's going to be quite an interesting experience for me because I've actually never tackled any games in this series before, not the original NES game or any of its sequels, which at least I think it has sequels. This here is a remake. Let's check it out, shall we? Blaster Master Zero is essentially a 2D Metroidvania title in which you must pilot Sophia the Third, a glorious tank, through various areas in order to search for upgrades that will help you venture further in the story. As you progress through each of this game's areas, you will be able to get in and out of your tank at will, in order to get to areas that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, or to simply access one of the game's many dungeons that are littered around. Generally, you will find yourself hopping through various areas, blasting every enemy that comes across your way. However, whenever you come across a dungeon and enter it, the gameplay style will change drastically, and it will essentially transform into a top-down shooter, where you must crawl from room to room, blasting everything you come across in order to find potential loot or upgrades. Whilst you are spelunking through these dungeon areas, you will be able to upgrade your weapon by picking up pink things that drop from destructible objects such as rocks or enemies. These will enable you to upgrade your standard blaster rifle for as long as you are not damaged, which offers a good way to reward players that are playing the game well. However, the blaster, once fully powered, can make the game exceptionally easy at points, and nearly all the bosses that you face while in a fully powered state simply melt as you shoot them. Though this can make certain areas of the game significantly easier, it definitely isn't a win button, as some later enemies still have potential to kill you, and this weapon upgrade can simply be ignored as you play, simply due to the fact you were able to select the weapon mode that you're using and have upgraded to on the fly. In fact, there's quite a decent variety of weapon types to use as you gain pink energy. For example, you can use a flamethrower or activate a shield to deflect enemy fire back onto foes. So if you don't want to cheese the game and would like a different type of weapon, there's usually something accessible that may suit your playstyle. In regards to the general level design, I simply love how everything fits together, and it's simply enjoyable to move through each of the game's areas, looking into each nook and cranny to find possible items, goodies, and dungeons. All the dungeons themselves, however, are also rather well designed and offer unique challenges to face constantly, depending on what area you are currently exploring at any given time. For example, you could be in a water-themed dungeon where you need to keep an eye out for occasional water floods coming in from off-screen, or you could find yourself in an ice-themed area where you can skid around like a loony struggling to keep your footing, unless of course you have a flamethrower on hands anyway. Simply put, there's some decent variety in the obstacles that you face. And graphically, the game also looks beautiful. However, I was surprised to see it go for an 8-bit style in the visuals department, as the game is a remake of an NES classic. As I haven't actually played the original, I'm not able to actually vouch for how much of an improvement there is, but the game looks stunning regardless. Alongside everything, the game also offers a very enjoyable soundtrack that I simply found myself nodding my head to as I was playing and exploring. I also found myself enjoying the story of this title too, which I wasn't actually expecting. It's certainly nothing groundbreaking, and it isn't the center stage of the whole game, but I do enjoy the world that it builds up for the most part. It is actually told through basic dialogue boxes and still frames for the most part, which I can sort of understand, as I assume that's just a carryover from the original NES release of the game. This title also sports a multiplayer mode in which you can get one of your friends to help deal with enemies on screen and drop collectibles such as health for you, through the use of an on-screen aiming reticle. It's not exactly the most fun in the world, to be honest, but it's definitely handy if you find yourself in a tricky situation and happen to have a friend on standby to help you out. Ultimately, Blaster Master Zero is an absolutely fantastic time all around. It has well done level design, well done music, and I just love it through and through. And while I do find it strange that it's a remake that has the whole 8-bit styling going on with the graphics, like usually remakes of games just flat redo up the whole visuals, it just bumps up the visuals a little bit as far as I can tell. It's just a fantastic time, and I would heavily recommend people to go out of their way to check the game out. But with that, that is it for the reviews. Thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people, and I'll catch you all again. Bye!